In 2026, millions of students took to the streets across India. They called it the cockroach movement, a mass revolt sparked by systemic exam leaks and allegations of institutional match-fixing that compromised their academic futures. The Modi government responded with severe force. Riot police, tear gas, and barricades were deployed to clear the demonstrators. The young students stayed on the streets. They are protesting the systemic rigging that erodes the value of their degrees and threatens their long-term economic stability. The scope of these demonstrations extends past educational reform. With state institutions failing to secure simple examinations, the youth of India are protesting a structural collapse of democratic legitimacy. Political opposition groups saw an immediate opportunity in this anger. The INDIA bloc moved in quickly, with high-profile figures like Rahul Gandhi organizing sit-ins to align themselves with the student base. Regional leaders adapted the outrage to fit their own platforms. Akhilesh Yadav folded the student protests into his PDA strategy, working to build a coalition among backward classes, Dalits, and minorities. This new unified front fractured almost immediately. The Aam Aadmi Party publicly accused the Congress of a jugalbandi, a secret collusion with the ruling BJP, designed to siphon media attention away from genuine grassroots activists. This constant political maneuvering is happening against a backdrop of deep, growing suspicion toward the state's electoral referee. The Election Commission is facing intense scrutiny over the reliability of electronic voting machines and the unexplained deletion of thousands of names from voter rolls. The average voter is left trapped. They face a state willing to use force, an opposition squabbling for optics, and a voting system they struggle to trust. To understand how voters might escape this trap, we have to look back to a landmark 2013 Supreme Court ruling. The court decided that the right to vote must legally include the secret, protected right to reject all candidates on the ballot. This ruling created the none of the above, or NOTA button on Indian voting machines. On paper, it sounds like a tool for dissent. In reality, under current national law, a NOTA vote has zero direct consequence on who actually takes office. This chart visualizes the current rule. If NOTA captures an absolute majority, say 99% of the total vote, and a single human candidate gets just 1%, that candidate is still officially declared the winner. The law provides a space for voters to register their complete disgust, while entirely insulating politicians from the electoral consequences of that disgust. Despite this legal roadblock, voters are figuring out how to weaponize the option. NOTA is transitioning from a passive marker of statewide apathy into a highly targeted, local tool for retaliation. The clearest example happened during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections in Indore, when the local Congress candidate abruptly withdrew and defected to the BJP at the last minute. The betrayed electorate organized a massive protest vote. The result was staggering. Indore recorded nearly 2.18 lakh NOTA votes, the highest number ever seen in a single Indian constituency. Those 200,000 votes didn't stop a winner from being declared, but they exposed a hidden pressure point. In tight races, the sheer threat of a mobilized NOTA voting bloc terrifies incumbents. We can see this fear translate into measurable economic action. Looking at this map tracking nighttime luminosity, a proxy for local economic activity, alongside NOTA percentages, a clear pattern emerges. Research shows that in highly competitive constituencies, an increase in NOTA adoption correlates with a 7.5 to 10% spike in nighttime light. In these districts, the NOTA option helps aggregate information by allowing undecided voters to signal their dissatisfaction, effectively forcing the incumbent to improve their performance to win those votes back. This signal creates a direct accountability loop. When incumbents see rising NOTA numbers in the data, they invest more heavily in local infrastructure and public services to prevent those swing voters from handing the victory to a challenger. The 2026 youth movement is pushing for a total political reset. They view the NOTA button as the mechanism to force that cleansing. A wave of public interest litigations is currently sitting with the Supreme Court, asking the judiciary to attach real, binding legal consequences to the NOTA button. We already know what that looks like in practice. State election commissions in Maharashtra and Haryana have successfully implemented a working blueprint in their local elections. This flowchart demonstrates what local officials call the fictional candidate model. In these local elections, if NOTA secures the highest number of votes, the entire election is immediately cancelled, and a fresh poll is triggered. The mechanism to democratically dismantle a slate of candidates is already active and functioning at the grassroots level of Indian democracy. Translating this local model into a national policy establishes what reformers call the 50+1 rule. This rule operates as a two-pronged attack. If NOTA wins the majority, a re-election is mandated, and the rejected candidates are permanently banned from running in the second. Enforcing this rule would transfer power directly to the electorate. Political parties would no longer be able to rely on the same slate of candidates. They would be forced to field representatives with genuine integrity to avoid a total electoral reset. This shifts the psychology of the ballot box. By giving the rejection option real consequences, an act of abstention operates as a direct assertion of democratic power. When the choices on the ballot fail to serve the common good, the most powerful and transformative vote a citizen can cast is a legally binding no.